Go. All right, today's objective. What we're going to do on the date, it's 1/27/2020. Thank you, Mrs. Cowan. What we're going to do is we're going to be solving formulas. So Mrs. Ravis came to me this year. She said, please, the kids cannot. Yeah, right? You guys didn't go in? Okay, thank you. Mind? So Mrs. Ravis came to me earlier this year. She goes, kids cannot solve formulas. I go, really? She goes, we've got F equals MA, and they can't solve for M. I go, seriously? I go, well, we'll fix that. We'll make sure you guys can. So when we do this, here's an example. Okay, we've got Celsius equals 5/9 Fahrenheit minus 32. Okay, we're going to solve these just like we solved all the rest of our problems, except they're letters. But we're going to think of them as numbers. They're letters, but we're going to think of them as numbers. Okay, because all these letters represent is some number that we might put into it. Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. Okay, so example 1 says we want to solve for y. So if I'm going to solve for y, I'm just going to have to get rid of the 2x. Again, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to go plus 2x, because that's the opposite. And over here I'm going to go plus 2x. Now that seems pretty easy, right? Plus 2x, because that's going to cancel the 2x out. I want to solve for y. I'm going to back you up. I want to solve for y. So we want y to be by itself. So we've got to get rid of the stuff around it. So we got ice, so just a plain old y. So y minus 2x, let's get rid of the 2x so that y will be by itself. So if it's a minus 2x, if I go plus 2x, it's gone. Are you okay with that? Now over here, 15 plus 2x is not 17x, is not, this is a number, 15. This is an x. This is like 2 x's. So what's the answer? Just 15 plus 2x. So this is what makes it really hard for kids, but not you guys. We're going to say that's gone. Bring down the y. The 2x is gone, right? Bring down the equal. And then what's on the other side is just 15 plus 2x. Don't add these because they're not the same. That is your answer. Y is by itself. Y is equal to 15 plus 2x. That is my answer. It says solve for y. Y is by itself. The big trick is don't add these. That's a number. It's like 15. That's 2 x's, okay? It's like an example. We don't have x's, but think of x as a box. I have $15 plus 2 boxes. I'll say it again. This is like an example. $15 plus 2 boxes. Doesn't make $17, does it? They're different. Think of this as $15 plus 2 boxes. That's what we have, is 15 plus 2x, okay? Let's keep going. Let's look at number 2. Okay, number 2 is solve for y. So what I want to do is get y by itself. What I should do is get rid of the 4x. So if I get rid of the 4x, I just have y. Well, that's a positive 4x, right? So to get rid of the 4x, I'll go subtract 4x, because that'll get rid of the 4x. What we do to one side of the equal sign, we've got to do the exact same thing to the other side. So there's minus 4x here. I'm going to go minus 4x here. So I go minus 4x. So I go subtract 4x here. Now, by doing this, my 4x on this side is gone. 4x minus 4x is gone. And all I'm left with on this side is y. So I bring down my y, bring down my equal sign. Now, 2 subtract 4x. This is an x. That's not. They're not the same. 2 subtract 4x is just 2 subtract 4x. It's like $2, take away 4 boxes. $2, take away 4 boxes. That's all it is. Don't make that a negative 2x. They're different. That's my answer. Okay? Where are you at? Thumbs up? Okay, good. Let me keep going. Okay, number 3. Okay, here's my y. I'm going to solve for y. There's my y right there, 5y. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 8, and then I'll get rid of the 5. So to get rid of the 8, I'm just going to go subtract 8. Now that's a real number. That's an integer. So if we go minus 8 here, let's put the minus 8 there. Not with the x's. Not with the x's. Minus 8, put the minus 8 right here with the negative 2. Put the numbers with the numbers, right? So I'll put my negative 2 minus 8 here, okay? So now, 5x comes down. Negative 2 minus 8 makes a negative 10. I can combine those because it's numbers with numbers. Equals a 5y. So the 8's gone. And now I want to get y again by itself. So I got a 5y. So I'm going to divide everything by 5. So divide by 5. Divide everything by 5. Everything by 5. And I wind up with a 1x minus 2 equals, the 5's cancel, and I'm left with y. Don't subtract these. That is a 1x minus 2. That's my answer. Don't subtract those, okay? 4. I want to solve for y. So the x is here with it. We just need to get rid of the x. It's a positive x. So we do the opposite. The opposite of positive x is to subtract it because that will cancel it out. On this side, what we do to one side, we do the exact same thing to the other side. So subtract x. Over here, I'll subtract x on the other side of the equal sign. Now the x is gone. X and negative x, gone. That's what we wanted. We wanted to get y by itself. So we bring down the y equals, the x is gone. Now, 11 minus x is 11 minus x. 11 minus x is not 10x. It is not. It's just, because there's no x's, right? No x is just 11 minus x. That's it. Okay, 11 minus x. Kind of weird, but you can add x's with x's. You can add y's to y's. You can add numbers to numbers. You can add elephants to elephants, but you can't add elephants to tigers. You with me? Okay? Okay, number 5. Okay? Now, I need the y by itself. So let's get rid of the 3x. Okay? So get rid of 3x, so I'm going to subtract 3x. Okay? So I'm going to go subtract 3x. Subtract 3x. 3x is gone. I still have a negative, so I'm going to bring the negative y equals. That's a number. Those are x's. We don't have them. Elephants and tigers. You don't have them, right? So you keep it as a negative 4, subtract 3x. Now, we saw this in our quiz. There's an invisible 1 right here. There's an invisible 1 right here, because it's a 1y. So I put my invisible 1 right there, and now I need to get rid of my invisible negative 1. Well, this is negative 1 times y. They're right together, it's a negative 1 times y, so I'm going to divide by negative 1. This is a really important trick that you'll learn right here. So divide by negative 1, it gets rid of it. So divide by negative 1 cancels. Divide by negative 1, everything. So if you divide everything, okay? Divide everything. So I'm left with a y equals a positive 4 plus 3x. This is a hard topic, but if you just remember, only put things together that are the same. It'll help. Okay, number 6. Here's my y. I'm going to get rid of everything around the y, so I've got to get rid of the 7 and the negative 4. So first, let's get rid of the 7, because it's the number kind of out on its own, right? So get rid of the extra numbers out on its own. So I'm going to get rid of the 7 by going subtract 7. That'll cancel it, right? Now when I go subtract 7, I have to put it here. Put numbers with numbers. Does that make sense? Put numbers with numbers. I go minus 7 there. Okay? Minus 7, minus 7. So I'll have a 3x minus 6. That's gone. Bring down the equal sign equals negative 4. Okay? Negative 4y. Okay, negative 4y means negative 4 times y. If they're right together, it means multiply. There's an invisible multiply. So we're going to undo it by divide by negative 4. Everything. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. Okay? So divide everything by negative 4, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. Okay? Now, Fractions are okay. I don't mind fractions because I could get a decimal, okay? I don't mind fractions. I could get a decimal, but negative 3/4 is fine. Or 0.75. I don't care. And then plus 1.5 or 6/4 equals y. Fractions is going to be the hard part, okay? Can we turn the page? Am I going slowly enough? Okay, turn the page. Okay. And I want to jump down to 11 and 12, okay? We don't need to do the others. We'll jump down to 11, okay? So here we go. Number 11 is a formula in math, but it's a formula. If I want to solve for b, I want to get rid of, watch it, here's the b, I want to get rid of the 1/2 and the h. I want b by itself, I want to get rid of the 1/2 and the h. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 1/2 first. And I'm going to undo 1/2 by multiplying by 2. So let me rewrite this so I have more room. I've got a equals a 1/2 bh. So I'm going to get rid of the 1/2 first by multiplying by 2 over 1. Okay, you all right with that? Because that'll cancel. You all right with that? And I'll multiply by 2 over here. So I have a 2a equals bh. Now these are numbers as letters. They're just letters. They represent numbers. So b times h, just do the opposite. How do I get rid of the h? What's the opposite times? Divide. Now it's going to be a weird divide. It's not going to divide into each other, so we're going to leave it as divide. Okay, watch. Everybody watch, okay? Because everybody, all eyes up here. So I'm going to divide by h. So the b is by itself. You guys agree? Now if I divide by h here, you're going to want to divide, aren't you? But you can't. So you leave it the way it is because the divide by is there. So my answer is 2a over h equals b. Now here's why we do formulas. If I knew the value of h, I'd plug it in. Say it's 10. I don't know. Say it's 30. I don't know. If I knew the value of h, I would plug it in. Maybe it's 5. I don't know. Maybe it's 100. I don't know. But with formulas, you have formulas because when you get some information, you plug it in. An example of formula, okay? Let's just say that when anybody walks in the door, they take their height and add a foot to it. That would be a formula. I don't know what your height is. I don't know what your height is. I don't know what your height is. But I would have a formula. As you walk in, you take your height, that's h, and you add a foot to it. That would be a formula. Does that make sense why I would use a variable? I'd use a variable because I don't know your height, right? Until we measure you. Okay? All right, last but not least, solve for r. Well, this one's actually pretty easy. Okay? Here's what I'm going to do with r. Okay? Now, I'm going to undo this divide by. So if I undo the divide by, how do I undo the divide by? I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by r, and I'll multiply this side by r. So I get an r times I equals, cancels, v. So I multiplied by r because I undid. Now I don't have r by itself yet, but almost. I'm going to undo this, and how do I undo this? I divide by I, right? Divide by I. Divide by I. Now, I don't know what v is. It's some number, and I don't know what I is. It's some number. So I cannot divide it. Does that make sense? Unless I know the numbers. And I don't know the numbers, so I'm going to leave it as v over I. And when I find out what the numbers are, I can put them in and then divide. So my answer is v divided by r. Okay? Now, I'm going to have you guys do